Hey, everybody. Thank you for joining us. Tim Lemoine here from Risk and Insurance Associates. I'm the brokerage manager, joined with Ryan Tracy today, who is one of our wholesalers. Ryan, thanks for joining us.
Hey, Tim, how are you?
Good, good, good. So today what we're going to discuss is final expense. So a lot of brokers on our platform are using us for your term insurance, maybe some permanent insurance, some long-term care. But when we get those declines, when somebody's uninsurable, sometimes it just stops, right? We don't proceed on to what the next option could be. And for a lot of brokers out there that don't know about us, this is a great way to learn and give another option to your clients, and that option's final expense. So Ryan, when you're talking to brokers and when you're educating people in the field, what does final expense mean to you, and how are you relaying that information?
Yeah, so final expense policy, let's start with what is a final expense. That's really a nice way of just saying a burial policy, or a policy that will pay for someone's funeral costs, burial costs, whatever you want to call it. So these policies can be used for any purpose, but they are typically whole life policies that are a little bit smaller, anywhere from $1,000 up to $50,000. That will be paid out to the beneficiaries upon the client's passing.
Got it. So almost the true definition of final expenses,
Yes.
just covering those final expenses, right? So when we're talking to clients, what types of things should we be listening for that might trigger that a final expense policy might be their only option?
Mhm.
And what questions should we be asking to see if that's what the client actually wants?
Yeah, so their health profile is going to be really important in determining what type of policy they go with. Final expense policies tend to have less underwriting requirements than other types of insurance. So for someone with maybe a few different smaller health conditions or one more major health condition, a final expense policy would be a good route for them to go. Final expense policies tend to have one of two types of death benefits: a level death benefit or a graded death benefit, one or the other. A level death benefit has a level death benefit, just like it says, for the lifetime of the policy. It's not going to be higher than that. It's not going to be lower than that. So if the client takes out a $25,000 policy, it's going to be $25,000 from day one until the day they pass. The other type is a graded death benefit. That the full death benefit does not come into effect until 2 years after the policy is initially taken out. In the first 2 years, if the client passes away due to natural causes, the beneficiaries will be paid out the premiums paid into the policy plus an additional amount, usually 10%. After 2 years, the full death benefit gets paid out. So that is an important difference to look out for when looking for a final expense policy.
Got it. So if somebody is insurable, then we should look into those what we would call simplified issue, non-graded policies that give the final expense coverage.
From day one, absolutely.
And then if they're uninsurable, then we're looking at those graded type plans. Typically, your guaranteed insurance will provide you that other type of plan. Okay,
Correct.
Great. So let's talk about costs and cost of the funeral, right? So what are average costs today, 2023, for funeral costs and these final expenses?
Yeah, so the national average is near $15,000. Now that can vary a lot depending on where you live in the country and your region, but 15,000, give or take, is the national average. Some other factors will be whether the person will be buried or cremated. That can also have a big effect on the cost of their final expenses.
Got it. Makes sense.
So I think really it's important to have that conversation with the client on what their expectations are. And to have, if you're the agent, to have a good understanding of what those costs are in your area.
And we can provide that on demand for anybody, correct?
Yeah.
Great. So I want to share with you out in the field and to all the brokers out there, these are some of the main carriers that we're seeing. So this document, if you request it, above this document, it's about 7 pages, and it breaks out every carrier you see here with what they offer, and some of the processes to obtain a quote and to apply for coverage. But at the bottom of this sheet, page 7, we've broken out and kind of given you this grid to make it easier for you. So we've got a combination of carriers here that offer that non-graded and the graded policies. And sometimes that's going to be simplified issue versus guaranteed. That's another way to think about that. We see Gerber a lot in that guaranteed space. I think they're leading the charge with the pricing on guaranteed coverage. We see Mutual of Omaha a lot in that simplified space, that non-graded benefit, death benefits in force day one. They're leading the charge with pricing on that. There's about, Ryan, what would you say, about 10 to 15 questions that a client has to answer? Pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
Yeah. And once they answer those questions, they'll get through. Typically, it'll take about 3 to 5 business days, and you'll know if you got approved or not. So we've got options for you: simplified issue, graded policies, guaranteed issue, New York, non-New York. We've got a full suite of options for you here. This grid will talk to you about the issue ages. Typically, you're going to see in the ages of 50 to 80. Sometimes we'll go down to 40. Great Western will offer age 40 to 80 on a guaranteed basis. And the thing is too, is always reach out to Ryan or any of our wholesalers and just ask, what's the best option for my client? And with a little bit of information, we'll point you in the right direction. So this grid will give you all the information you need, hopefully, to get an idea of where to send and apply for. And then again, if you have any questions, you can always reach out to Ryan and he'll get you in that good spot. Ryan, anything else we missed here?
No, I just think final expense policies are a common and easy solution for many clients. If you have a client that's looking for a way to leave money to their loved ones so that their final expenses aren't a burden to their beneficiaries, to their kids or grandkids, a final expense policy might make a lot of sense for them. So very common in the industry, and it's something I think all agents should be familiar with, so that they can have those conversations with their clients.
Got it. And we sell a lot of these policies, to be quite honest with you. So if you have any questions, if you're running into underwriting concerns, if the client is in the age bracket and just wants that final expense, definitely look to us. Reach out to Ryan, reach out to our team, and we'll get you in the right spot. Again, we're going to be sending these videos every single week. Hope these are helpful for you. Come to our website at riskassociate.com. Follow us on LinkedIn. Subscribe to us on YouTube, where you're going to see all of our content, and we're going to post all of this content on our website as well. Thanks so much for joining. Can't wait to hear from you, and we'll see you all next time. Thank you.